What's up, everybody? Welcome to Empire on Deck. I am Roman. Let's recap Sunday's action. First up, we have the finale between the Arizona Diamondbacks and Philadelphia Phillies. It was Arizona that got the scoring started, jumping out to a 2-0 lead, but Philadelphia scored 3 in the 6th on a Trey Turner homer and a Bryce Harper double. But Arizona added 2 on singles in the 8th and took the finale 4-3 to win the series. Philadelphia turned to reliever Zach Pop in this one, but after 2 innings, they turned the ball over to rookie starter Andrew Painter, who was solid through 5 innings, allowing just 3 hits, 1 earned run, and striking out 7. But as I said, it was Arizona that won the finale 4-3. Taking the mound on his 26th birthday for Baltimore, it was Cade Povich that posted a strong line, going 6 2/3 innings, allowing just 1 earned run and striking out 5. Casey Schmidt continued his really strong start for San Francisco, going 3 for 4 with a homer, and he started the season with a .368 average. But it was Baltimore that got the last laugh in this one, led by Pete Alonso and Samuel Basallo. Alonso went 2 for 4 with a double and 2 RBIs, and Basallo added a 2-run homer of his own. Baltimore won the finale 6-2. Minnesota jumped all over Max Scherzer, scoring 8 runs in the first 3 innings. Tristan Gray had a 3-run homer in the 2nd, and Brooks Lee had a 2-run double in the 3rd. And it was Minnesota that took the finale from Toronto 8-2, despite the fact that they got out-hit by Toronto 12-8. The Angels scored 9 runs on 10 hits in the finale against the Cincinnati Reds, but the story in this one was once again Jose Soriano, who was fantastic yet again to start the season. 7 shutout innings with 10 strikeouts. And he becomes the first Angels pitcher since Jared Weaver in 2011 to win his first 4 starts of the season. On offense, Nolan Shonowell led the way, going 2 for 3 with 2 walks and 3 RBIs. Mike Trout also added an RBI double. And Cincinnati tried to make a comeback at the end, scoring 3 runs in both the 8th and 9th innings. And De La Cruz had a good day, going 2 for 5 with a homer and 3 RBIs. But this finale did belong to the Angels, 9-6. The struggles continued for the New York Mets, as there was only 1 run to speak of in their finale against the Athletics, and it came off the bat of Nick Kurtz in the form of a solo homer in the 3rd inning. This was a pitcher's duel, with the Athletics' Aaron Savali going 5 2/3 shutout innings, allowing just 4 hits. And Freddie Peralta was just as good for the Mets, going 6 innings, also just 4 hits, but allowing 1 earned run, and that was all the Athletics needed as they won the finale 1-0. And the Mets have lost 5 in a row. They are really struggling to find their way without Juan Soto. Tarek Skubal has found his Cy Young form as he took a no-hitter through 6 innings against Miami. His final line was 6 2/3, just 2 hits, 1 earned run, and 7 strikeouts. Kevin McGonigal finally hit his first Major League home run on the way to a 3 for 4 day, and Kerry Carpenter also added a homer and 2 RBIs, as the Tigers took the finale to sweep the Marlins 8-2. Speaking of sweeps, it was Drew Rasmussen for Tampa Bay that returned from paternity leave to dominate the Yankees, going 6 shutout innings and striking out 7. And Chandler Simpson led the way for Tampa Bay offensively, going 3 for 4. Aaron Judge did homer, but later stated that the offensive struggles for the Yankees were glaring, as just like their New York counterpart, the Mets, and as we'll later find out, the Brewers, have lost 5 in a row. And with that loss to Tampa Bay, the Yankees surrender first place in the AL East for the first time this season to those very same Tampa Bay Rays. Tanner Murray led off the scoring in the finale against the White Sox and Royals for the White Sox with a 2-run homer. But the day belonged to Colson Montgomery as he added a homer and a double to drive in 2 runs of his own. And there was a lack of power for Kansas City in this one, as they did manage to score 5 runs, but 2 of those runs came on walks in the second inning, and the rest of their runs came from singles, so they had a hard time getting past first base, and it was Chicago that won the finale 6-5. Bryce Terang and Brandon Woodruff did their best to try to end Milwaukee's losing streak, as Terang went 3 for 4 with a couple of homers, and Brandon Woodruff went 6 innings, allowing just 1 earned run and 6 strikeouts. But James Wood continues to be one of the hottest hitters in the league, notching a home run, and Keibert Ruiz added 2 RBIs of his own, as it was the Washington Nationals that sweep the Milwaukee Brewers to hand them their 5th straight loss, 8-6. Boston's offensive resurgence continued this weekend against the St. Louis Cardinals, as Wilson Contreras and Trevor Story both collected 4 hits in this one, driving in a combined 5 runs, as the Red Sox take the series from the Cardinals 9-3. But Jordan Walker did homer in this one to stand alone on Major League Baseball's home run leaderboard with his 7th homer of the season. And I did want to call out that it was Walker that was leading the offense for St. Louis this weekend, on a weekend where they could have used a lot more of it, and he's hitting .327 on the season, and that's good to see, because for a couple of years now, at one point Jordan Walker was a first-round pick for St. Louis, and he came up, and he had a slow start to his career. He's a late bloomer. We heard that mentioned from Pittsburgh's Ryan O'Hearn. It took him a couple of years in the majors, but Jordan Walker finally seems to be playing like the first-round pick that St. Louis made him a few years ago. So that's good to see from him. He hit his Major League leading 7th home run on Sunday. But it is Boston that takes this one 9-3. A day after taking control of the NL Central for the first time since April 2024, Pittsburgh scored 5 runs in the first 2 innings, with Brendan Lau continuing to show why he was one of the best decisions they made this offseason, going 2 for 4 with 2 homers, driving in 5, but the Cubs kept coming. Swanson and Belisario both homered, and Carson Kelly went 2 for 5 with a double and what would end up being the walk-off single, as the Cubs spoil the sweep for the Pirates 7-6. The finale between San Diego and Colorado was all San Diego, as Ty France had a big day, going 3 for 3 with a homer and a double. Jackson Merrill also went 2 for 3 with a homer of his own, and San Diego won this finale 7-2. Yainer Diaz hit a solo home run in the 5th inning for Houston, but that was all they would get offensively, as the Mariners won this one 6-1. Randy Arozarena went 3 for 4 with an RBI, and Luke Raley went 3 for 5, driving in a pair with a couple of doubles. And Houston's struggle continues, as they have been up and down all season. They started the year really cold, and then they got hot, and now they find themselves on another 7-game losing streak, bringing their record on the year to 6-10. Jacob deGrom was dominant on the mound against the Dodgers, going 6 innings pitched, allowing just 1 earned run with 9 strikeouts. Josh Young went 2 for 3 with a double and a couple of walks, and Evan Carter had a homer in the 3rd inning, and that was enough for Texas, as they take the finale from the Dodgers 5-2. And in the Sunday night baseball finale between the Atlanta Braves and the Cleveland Guardians, this one, like Friday night, was all Atlanta. Atlanta has this trend where they like to score a lot of runs, and then the next day they are pretty cold. That's what happened this weekend. They scored 11 on Friday. They were shut out on Saturday, but they rebounded in a big way on Sunday with 13 more runs. But on the mound, Chris Sale was about as consistent as he's been during his entire tenure with the Atlanta Braves, going 6 innings, allowing just 1 earned run with 6 strikeouts. And the story in this game offensively for those 13 runs were the off-season signings. Jorge Mateo went 4 for 4 with an RBI. Mauricio Dubon went 3 for 4 with a double and 2 RBIs. Dominic Smith had a 2-run homer. And local boy Kyle Farmer had a pinch hit double that drove in 2. Ozzie Albies also went 3 for 4 with an RBI, but this game was death by 1,000 cuts for Atlanta, as they had 19 hits, but 14 of those 19 hits were singles. Still, Atlanta won big in this finale on Sunday Night Baseball, 13-1. And that's all I have for you for Sunday night's action. Until Monday, this is Roman from Empire on Deck. I'll see you there.